Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Welcome everyone. Glad you could join us for our Kahului Hongwanji Buddhist Temple's Sunday YouTube service. Today's service is for July 18th, 2021. And this is just a regular family service today. On this day, we are not having an in-person service, so we're just having the video. So our service today will proceed. We've already had the Kansho, the calling bell, to kind of bring us to mindfulness, to listen to the Dharma, and now we will move on to the Vandana and Tisarana, calling on the Buddha, praising the Buddha's enlightenment, and taking refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. After that, we will chant the Sutra Junirai. This is the English version of Junirai, called the 12 Homages. After that, we will recite the Golden Chain of Love, and followed by the Dharma Message, which I will share with you. After the Dharma Message, we will chant the Metta, or the loving kindness meditation, which is comes from the very ancient Buddhist practice of wishing or aspiring for the happiness of all beings. And then we will sing the Nembutsu, and then have some closing words and announcements. So thank you so much for being here. I hope everyone is well, and hope you enjoyed today's service. Thank you. Let's begin by putting our hands together and reciting the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to him, the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one. Bhutang saranang gacchami, Dhammam saranang gacchami, Sangham saranang gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Bodhisattvas gather round, golden form like the mountain king, steadfast like the elephant's pace, Buddha's eyes like the blue lotus. Thus I bow to Amida, Buddha's form round like the moon, bright like 1,000 suns and moons, Buddha's voice like the nightingale. Thus I bow to Amida, Buddha's figure on Kanon's crown, adorned with wondrous features, Buddha subdues evilness. Thus I bow to Amida, beyond compare Amida's pure, virtue shining clear like space, all benefit from Buddha. Thus I bow to Amida, Bodhisattvas all renown, Maras to praise Amida, primal vow made for our sake. Thus I bow to Amida, golden ponds where lotus bloom, towers a throne of goodness, Buddha lives like the mountain king. Thus I bow to Amida, Bodhisattvas come afar, attaining true happiness. They revere the Buddha's face. Thus I bow to Amida. All life changes like the dew. We have no permanent self. Buddha teaches this law to all. Thus I bow to Amida. No evil in the Pure Land, and no fear of evil paths. Faithful hearts honor Buddha. Thus I bow to Amida, saving us through many ways. No tempters, no evil friends. Birth leads to enlightenment. Thus I bow to Amida. Amida, thus I have praised virtues boundless like the sea. These virtues shared with others, for birth into the Pure Land. Naman Dabu, Naman Dabu, Naman Dabu, Naman Dabu, Naman Dabu, Naman Dabu. The virtue of Amida's vow is shared equally by all, together attaining awakened mind. We are born in the land of peace. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda. Golden Chain of Love. I am a link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and to do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that on what I do now depends not only my happiness or unhappiness, but also that of others. May every link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love become bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Well, thank you very much again for being here today. At this time, I'd like to share some thoughts about the Buddha's teaching with you. Let's begin by reciting the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. So today I'd like to talk about happiness. In Buddhism, we don't necessarily talk that much about happiness directly. I've been reflecting on the Buddha's teaching and on Shinran Shonin's teaching for quite a long time. And the more I reflect and the more I live my life, the more I feel that even though we don't necessarily say it that way, that life is really about happiness, but happiness in the true sense. The goal of life is to be happy. Unfortunately, it is true that most of us, maybe all of us, are unhappy most of the time. Some people are surprised by the idea that you might say that the goal of life should be happiness, or that we should live our life with happiness. As you know, in Buddhism it is taught that we need to overcome selfishness, and so many people think that seeking happiness is itself selfish. But if you look around you carefully, you might notice that very unhappy people are often extremely selfish. And that's not surprising, because when I feel very unhappy myself, I'm apt to focus all my energy and all my attention on myself and my problems. At such times, I am the center of the universe, and so I become oblivious to the troubles of others. I'm so unhappy, I'm only thinking of myself. I am in my own world of suffering, and may even interpret the happiness of others as an affront to myself, or at least a kind of irritant. Why is that person so happy? The English poet A.E. Housman, in one of his poems, in which he compared the simple contentment of country people with the burdens and stresses of city dwellers, he wrote these words. He was speaking of the city person here, and he said, "The mortal sickness of a mind, too unhappy to be kind, undone with misery, all they can is to hate their fellow man." So that was before inclusive language. Man means human being, fellow human being. Nowadays, I don't think we can make a clear distinction between country and city as he was able to do in the 19th century, but I think this is a very good description of modern people in general. When we are unhappy, we don't appreciate even the gift of being alive. And we are so busy feeling bad that we simply don't care about others. We may even resent others for being a hindrance to getting what we desire. Other people are in my way, I might think. We've all been unhappy at times, though, so we know what it's like. So, what exactly is unhappiness? I think my feeling is that unhappiness is when things don't go the way I think they should. That's really what unhappiness is. Things are not going my way, therefore I am not satisfied. I am dissatisfied, I'm annoyed, I'm angry, I'm hateful, whatever it is. All kinds of shades there. Unfortunately, our whole culture has brainwashed us into believing that winning and material success are everything, and that if you aren't able to measure up to certain expectations of wealth and status, sort of like illusionary ideals that people are expected to emulate or rise to. Not just wealth and status, but also images of beauty, right? Looking a certain way, and it changes all the time, of course. No one can ever look the way that the advertisements and all that kind of stuff tell us we should look, especially young people really suffer from that. But anyway, if you can't measure up, your existence you're made to feel that your existence has little or no value. And these kind of cultural values are very cruel, I think, since most people, and it'll emphasize that, most people, we should say practically no one can live up to them. In fact, most people live ordinary lives. We're ordinary people. We're not big shots. We don't have high status, and we can barely manage to make ends meet. Let's face it, and more and more that's the truth. And it's been the truth for most of human history, at least the history of civilization. Most people just get by if they're lucky. So you might ask, well, isn't it better to win then, to succeed? Isn't that better? Isn't it better to always get what you want? Wouldn't that be worthwhile if you could do it? But if we look at this question with the guidance of the Buddha's teachings, we can see that the real value of the things we do in our life is not the outcome at all, not what we get out of it, but the richness of each moment that we experience and the wisdom we constantly receive from living, in each moment. From a Buddhist point of view, losing is just as good as winning. Happiness does not come from winning as opposed to losing. When you win, you might feel good for a while, but when you lose, you can learn from your mistakes. You might gain humility. That's really valuable. Actually, all of our losing or failing in life is a great learning experience. If you are good at music or writing or painting or baseball or anything else, anything at all, you can never improve if you don't make mistakes. And if you do those things, good at whatever it is, your profession, your real happiness, your real joy comes from doing them, being in the moment of doing them, not saying, "Oh, isn't it great that I am such and such?" That's very empty in the end. And eventually, you'll have to stop doing it. You'll get old, arthritis, whatever it is, you won't be able to do it anymore. But having that joy of whatever you do, finding deep satisfaction and meaning in the moment, that's the valuable thing. The most valuable things we learn in life come from realizing also that we are not perfect, and thus we're able to learn from our experiences. So every moment is a learning experience. So if you think, I want to be a successful person, I want to be at the top, I want to have everything I want. When you get there, you have nowhere to go. It's a delusion that you're even there, but if you feel that you have everything you want, what is life really about? Perfect people never learn anything, and really true joy in life comes from every day learning something, learning about ourselves, learning about others, realizing ever more deeply what life is really all about. When we really understand, that we're these imperfect being, we can enjoy the process of everything we do. We can be in the process. If I win, that's good. If I lose, that's good too. Isn't it wonderful to have these opportunities to work together with others, to create, to play, to learn? That never stops. No matter how old we get, how diminished our capacities are, we can always do something, and do something together with others. The simplest things are always joyful when we have that attitude. I'm going to be in this process, in this moment, living fully, enjoying fully. Happiness doesn't come from getting what we want, from always winning or succeeding. If happiness depended on winning, by the way, hardly anyone would ever be happy. There is a lot to reflect on about happiness. It seems that the more things people have, the less happy they are. And this is true. I mean, and you see this really most clearly in countries that, never didn't yet get to the economic and level of Western countries that most of us know, have grown up in. So I have been to Thailand a few times, and Thailand is a country that has been rooted in Buddhism for centuries, many centuries. There are maybe thousands of Buddhist temples in Thailand, and I think that Buddhism has very much influenced people's attitudes toward life. When I have been there, I've always been impressed by the kindness and basic happiness of ordinary people, especially people who don't have much. They really seem to enjoy the simple everyday joys of life, eating and socializing. That's the main thing, just eating together, socializing. They seem to take life, they have to struggle to make a living, but they enjoy the moments of life. They seem to take life also at a slower pace than we do, much slower, and so they have the time to be kind and considerate, like that poem, too unhappy to be kind. That's most of us, I think. They have the time to be kind and considerate. You see a lot of smiles there. People who are basically happy can afford to smile, can afford to be kind. More than once in Thailand, I was surprised by the kindness of people who would go out of their way to be helpful to us. I think that when we appreciate ordinary life, when we are able to take our time and enjoy everyday things, enjoy each other, then I think we are much closer to true happiness. Unfortunately, people in Thailand are now experiencing the same kind of stress and unhappiness that is so common here. We have been a rich country for a long time, so we are all very driven and ambitious. We have to work and worry all the time in order to have all the things that we think are normal to have. Being so worried and busy constantly makes us stressful and unhappy, and so we find it hard to be patient and helpful and considerate to each other. We tend to be harsh in our judgments and filled with anger and conflict. We're always in competition with one another. Everyone in the world wants to have the kind of lifestyle that is taken for granted in the West. Everyone wants all the things that we have and the image of this kind of life. Including, of course, people in Thailand, and it's becoming more and more common there, that kind of life and that kind of aspiration. So everyone there is maybe forgetting, I hope not, but I think a lot of people are forgetting how to be happy, how to be kind, because they're getting so stressed out. And that's a very tragic thing, in my opinion. Many people today are aware that they are unhappy, and they wonder why. They may seek an answer in religion, such as Buddhism, spiritual teachings. But it is very important to understand what Buddhism really is. Buddhism is not something we have to win or conquer or attain. It is not something we can earn or buy. Buddhism is really about appreciating life. Buddha's teaching guides us to true happiness. I would like to share a Zen Buddhist koan with you. A koan is a story that usually is a bit puzzling. It's meant to be thought about, reflected on. So here is this koan, this story. So a Buddhist teacher came to see Master Chao, and he asked him, "Master, what is Buddhism all about?" Master Chao said to this student, "Have you eaten yet?" The student said, "Yes, Master Chao, I have eaten." "And did you wash your bowl?" the master asked. "Yes, Master Chao, I did wash my bowl." "That is Buddhism," the master said. So in this story, the student wants to know what Buddhism is. We have to ask that question too. What is Buddhism? And not just take it for granted. Is it about meditating, sitting in the lotus position, chanting sutras, lighting incense, having memorial services for our parents or grandparents or and so on? Is that Buddhism? Is it about having big fancy temples with lots of expensive decorations or having lots of activities and fundraisers in those temples? Is that Buddhism? Maybe those things play a part, but only to support the Buddhist life, the eating and washing your bowl life of which Buddhism really is. So Master Chao wants us to see something in this story much more basic, in this koan. Something that is right in front of us that we can find, even if we never see a Buddhist temple, something about our everyday life. In this story, Master Chao is trying to show the student, that's us, we are the student, the hearer of the story, that's the real student, trying to tell us that we shouldn't look for spiritual meaning outside of ourselves. We can find our deepest understanding of life in the simple, ordinary things that are part of everyday life. Everybody likes to eat, but it is very easy to overlook the things that support our life, such as food and warmth and love, as if these things are too trivial and ordinary. But these are really what life is all about. To be a Buddhist is to be a person who appreciates the preciousness of life, who finds true joy and meaning in the simple realities of life, and is deeply grateful for everything that is received. This story teaches us to be grateful for our life, which is supported by countless other beings in the world. The meaning of Amida is boundless life. The food in our bowl is life, always supporting us, giving us strength, and always teaching us as we walk on the path of life. And just as we receive life from others, so we also have to wash the bowl. We have to clean up the messes we make, because we are always beginning anew, and because others have to live in this world too. Today, we can see human beings have made quite a mess of things. I hope we can clean up our mess in time. I hope we can wash our bowl. We can, if we let go of our attachments, as the Buddha taught, and return to the true reality of this present moment. We don't need to have everything we want. Each moment of life, each experience, whether pleasant or unpleasant, good or bad, enriches us and is the source of true happiness. So we might think that we can find happiness by making a lot of money, owning many expensive things, or by showing others how successful and powerful we are. But we won't find it, and our actions, driven by those desires, will push everyone toward suffering and misery. True happiness can only be found in gratitude and appreciation, from realizing the wonderful gift of life we receive in every simple, ordinary meal, in every ordinary moment we live together with others. The teaching of Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu, is to awaken to that gratitude and to live in true happiness. Well, thank you very much for listening, and let's conclude our reflections by reciting the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May I be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to me. May I live in peace and harmony. May my family be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my teachers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my friends be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May strangers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my enemies be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo. Thank you so much for joining us today for our Kahului Hongwanji online YouTube service. I hope everyone is staying well. I hope you enjoyed today's service and are able to take something away from it that is meaningful to you and helpful to you. I have a couple of announcements. So actually we started yesterday, the 17th, with our Hatsubon services. We had 2 Hatsubon services, one at 10 a.m. and one at 4 p.m. So we will be having 2 more Hatsubon services. These are kind of public services in the temple. Next Saturday, July 24th at 10 a.m. and at 4 p.m. If there is someone who has passed away in the last year since the last Obon season that you'd like to remember, please let us know. Even if you can't attend the service, we can still read the names. So if you're interested in that, just give the temple a call or check our website and you can find our email and so on there. Okay, also on next Sunday, July 25th, we will be having our Obon major service. So this is a sort of celebration or an observance of the service that sort of commemorates Obon as in its entirety, you might say. And it's one of our major services that we have every year. And then also we can remember all of the loved ones in our families at that service. So we just can be mindful of everyone who has passed away in our lives, in our families and so on, friends and family, to remember them at that service. We will have both a video like this for next Sunday, and we will also have an in-person service in the temple. If you are planning on coming to the in-person service, do please give us a call. Thank you very much. I think that's, there's one more announcement. We still, the blood bank drive here in Maui is scheduled for July 20, 21st, and 22nd at the Cameron Center, and you have to call for appointments. So the number is 808-848-4770. 808-848-4770. So if you're interested in making giving blood for this year's blood drive, blood bank drive, please call that number. Thank you very much. So once again, thank you so much for attending and being part of today's service, and let's put our hands together now and end our service by reciting the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.